Dear chess friends, welcome back to our studio with a very special guest, Grandmaster Nigel Short. Welcome, Nigel.
Lovely to see you, Mira.
What a beautiful bow tie, if I
Thank
may
you.
say so.
Thank you. I don't wear one very often, but
so is it a true like accessory for a perfect English gentleman?
Well, of course, the name's Short, Nigel Short.
Well, Nigel, you're a true chess legend, but you have another title in FIDE right now, so you're the Director of Chess Development. And I think that you're a true chess missionary, you know, because I think that you're the grandmaster, or even the person that I know who has visited the most countries in the world while playing chess, or tournaments, given simuls, exhibitions, you know, popularizing the game of chess. Please tell me, what is the number of those countries?
I have visited 153 countries so far.
153 countries?
Yeah.
So how many federations have been established since?
Well, I've had a hand in establishing a number of federations, and it varies actually quite a bit. Sometimes I have been to places where I've had a very, very minimal involvement. So, for example, in 2019, I went on a FIDE expansion tour in the Caribbean. And so I was in St. Lucia, and I went there, and, you know, we had television, we had media there, and I would sign some document with the president of the federation accepting St. Lucia into FIDE. And of course I had absolutely zero authority to do that. It was just one of those things which was done for the cameras to
in the spur of the moment.
Yeah, just for the moment and so on. So, you know, in St. Lucia, my, let's say, contribution was rather cosmetic. But in some other places, it's absolutely, I mean, without boasting, the federations would never have got off the ground without me. So, you know, places like Grenada, where even my friends in the Caribbean were saying there is no chess in Grenada. You know, in neighbouring countries they were saying that. But you find there is chess absolutely everywhere in the world, and it's a matter of tickling that interest and finding. You always need to find at least one person who has the energy, the drive to establish something, to get it up off the ground. So you need certain things, you need statutes, you need recognition basically from your government or your sports authority, National Olympic Committee, or things. There are a number of different things you need to put in place. So the person you find, and if it's a group of people, it's even better. But you need to at least find one person who is organised and who is capable of putting together a little team.
Who is also absolutely passionate about the game of chess, of course.
Yeah, that's it.
That's a prerequisite, I guess.
Yeah. So,
Nigel, one question that I had from the top of your head. What is the most unusual or surprising experience, you know, that you had, you know, during those travels? You didn't play chess with crocodiles, I think. So not yet.
No. There are just too many. You've really put me on the spot.
You have to share those
You know,
stories.
okay, I mean, just let me give you an example from one federation which will probably become an affiliate member this year. So that is Greenland. Because it's not an independent country, it's technically part of Denmark, it cannot become a full member, voting member of FIDE. But we've got a new status, so it can become non-voting affiliate. So they have completed that. I've actually contributed quite a lot behind the scenes in getting the paperwork done. And I believe the General Assembly will approve. But it's a story from a visit a number of years ago. And I went to play a match against the Icelandic Grandmaster Johan Hjartarson. And it was one of those promotional things. The Icelanders were doing a lot of, and they've actually done it for many years, actually.
On many occasions.
So they've been, so there is chess in even the most isolated communities up in the north and on the east coast and everything. But we were playing in the capital, Nuuk. And we played in a shopping mall. And it's not ideal chess conditions, but it's great for promotion because there were just loads of people there and they were extremely interested. And we had big screens as well. But at some moment, there was a guy who came right up to our board. And he was a guy in a green anorak. And he started talking to his friend right next to the board. So I told him to shut up, because we were playing. It turns out he was the Prime Minister of the country. So that was, a little faux pas on my part. And that is why, of these countries that I've visited so far, I'm saving North Korea until last, because if I make a similar mistake there, I suspect I'm not getting out.
Also, your diplomatic mission is going to be compromised. It's such a funny story. Thank you, Nigel, for sharing it with us. So we are celebrating today the centennial anniversary of FIDE. We know that originally there have been only 15 signatories. So how many federations are there?
One of them signed illegally.
Well, yes, we've learned it, today. Yeah. But so how many federations are there in FIDE in 2024?
I'm not sure. It's about 200. Yeah. It changes. I mean, maybe we're even 201. I'm not entirely sure, but...
But it crossed 200.
Yeah, but, we may even lose a couple because... we have our regulations, and if you have non-functioning federations, they can be suspended. So it'll be interesting. I think, Greenland will come in. We've got another possibility, but, we may also lose a couple of federations this time. But in general, of course, it's expansion. It's growing. Mm-hmm. And this year I went to one former French colony, the Republic of Congo. Last year I was in the Democratic Republic of Congo, in Kinshasa. And I was looking across the river, because these are the two closest capitals in the world. You can simply see the other capital on the other bank of the river, which is really bizarre. And so I was in Brazzaville.
You could play a game of chess almost, yes?
Yeah, well, almost. But it's surprising because they have very little connection with each other, just because they've had different histories. Very bizarre, because they are the same people speaking the same languages as well, and they're divided by a colonial past, actually. So we were trying to get a federation set up there, and that will take a little bit of time, because It's a bit more bureaucratic. They require 3 years of continuous activity. So it's not going to happen this year, but you plant your seeds and you reap a little bit later on. So that's what we're doing. And I'm actually also working on another couple of places.
You're exploring another galaxy?
In Africa, Guinea-Bissau, I actually
Yes.
have quite a lot of contact there, and also in Guinea-Conakry as well. So I don't think it will be too long before they're joining, quite possibly next year. Let's see. There are some sort of bureaucratic hurdles which need to be crossed, but in Conakry, for example, they have tournaments. I mean, they have, and even they have television coverage and stuff like that. They just don't have a federation as yet. Well, they have a federation, but it's with the drafts or checkers federation. So it needs to be severed and to develop independently. In a lot of those West African countries, checkers is a very popular game, in Senegal and so on.
Of course.
Yeah.
Nigel, so before FIDE sends you to explore another planet, I wanted to ask you, how do you usually celebrate this International Chess Day on Earth?
Personally, I don't, not really. So this was the first time I've celebrated it, but you know, it's an innovation for me. I notice other people have been marking it, but it's not something hitherto I've been actively involved in. But it was really, really nice to come here to Paris for the centenary. And yeah, a little bit of history, and it's very nice how FIDE has grown, because if you look at the original body, those 15 federations, they were primarily European federations, and you had a couple from the Americas. You had Canada and Argentina. Asia, basically not represented at all. Africa, not represented. Oceania, you know, also not. So you have seen a great expansion of chess over this last century. And if you look in these books, these chess tournament cross tables, if you look in the early days, you will see mainly Europe, but plenty of American tournaments. And the history of recent chess has been, in particular, massive growth in Asia. Quite a lot of growth in Africa, at least in spreading. Some places it's popular, most places it's very much a minor sport. But we're hoping to bring the game to many more people, to millions more people, and it's very exciting. I really enjoy it. So I mean, I've received videos today, photos of friends from Niger and places like this, sending me, this is what we're doing from from Congo. Another province there, and so on. And it's great to see the amount of activity.
Nigel, I wanted to ask you, this is one question that popped into my mind, because, I've seen you sporting, boxing shorts, so like surprising chess experiences, but what is actually the ultimate form of chess entertainment? What elements it should combine? What should we do more, that's to bring chess even to another level?
I think, yeah, it's a very good question. It's a big question. I think chess inherently a very beautiful game. I consider it to be the ultimate mind sport. And I don't believe we need extraordinary gimmicks for this. I think we need to get chess more onto mainstream television and, you know, have programs of half an hour, 1 hour, and cover big events. And I don't think we have enough of this at the moment. We have some, let's say, internet coverage. That's pretty common these days. Things are live streamed. We have entertainers, we have streamers, and I think that's a good thing. It's, you know, all of this helps the base of the game. But I think that there has to be a movement towards faster chess. I think that is, I don't want to get rid of classical chess completely, but I think classical chess has to become faster to bring it more into the 21st century. Nowadays, people, they play with a lot of theoretical knowledge, and they can play their first 20 moves very, very fast. And that's why I think these time controls with, you know, 5-hour games and so on, they are a little bit antiquated. So I think
they are not obsolete yet.
They're not. You know, maybe Magnus Carlsen is right. I don't think we should do everything in chess just to please Magnus Carlsen, although he's a very important figure. I think we should be thinking the same way, regardless of Magnus. So you know, there are some discussions in this direction, and I think it's, you know, I'm more of an evolutionary than a revolutionary. I don't think you suddenly take a game of 1,500 years. I mean, we're only celebrating our centenary in FIDE, but the game itself is much, much older. And I don't think we need to brutalize a game which has survived so well through 1.5 millennia. So